Welcome to this week's Movie Math, where 300 Rise of an Empire was able to stuff a surprising number of singles into its leather G-string. While it couldn't match the debut of the original flick, despite inflation and 3D ticket prices, the prequel-sequel still managed to beat expectations and easily land the #1 spot. Furthermore, 68% of that haul did come from 3D screens, a good sign for the technology that many audience members at least, had hoped was maybe on the way out. And just like last weekend, Hollywood was surprised that women showed up for a stereotypically male pick, 10% more than for the first 300. Do we have Game of Thrones to thank? Or perhaps Eva Green, who many feel stole the film as the villainous Artemisia? This is Green's biggest box office debut to date, even bigger than Casino Royale, and so we fans can only hope that this will convince the studio suits that she can open a picture, or at least the right picture. Also like last weekend, older moviegoers showed up for 300, with 30% of the audience between 25 and 34. Then again, those moviegoers would have been in the Hollywood sweet spot back when the first 300 came out, which just shows strong brand loyalty. But then again, maybe the Hollywood sweet spot is changing. And once again, it's foreign box office reinforcements to the rescue, as 300 Rise of an Empire is actually outpacing the original overseas, pulling in $87.8 million, with particularly strong showings in Russia, France, South Korea, and Brazil. Is it the abs or the 3D? The abs in 3D? Well, the abs might be nice. My money's on 3D, as foreign audiences seem to still be enjoying their honeymoon with the technology. In fact, Sony and MGM decided to take a gamble and convert Robocop to 3D exclusively for China, with spectacular results. It debuted on par with its debut here, 21 million, but for China, especially at this time of year, that's big business. Stateside, the Robocop remake is already out of the top 10, but an overall healthy foreign box office, and with this 3D experiment a success, perhaps we'll get that sequel after all, in 3D. The other new release this weekend, Mr. Peabody and Sherman, also managed to beat expectations, but couldn't get into the same bracket as recent animated flicks Frozen and the Lego Movie. Perhaps that's because both those films are still in theaters, even Frozen on week 16. But at least Dreamworks Animation can breathe a sigh of relief that they didn't have another pick open in the 20 million range, a la recent flops Turbo and Rise of the Guardians. This debut puts Peabody more in line with Puss, which, like the Croods, did most of its business overseas. However, Peabody has already begun playing overseas for a few weeks now, and while it still has many countries to hit, it is trailing Puss's numbers in the countries where it has debuted. So unless, say, Russia or Brazil or China, where Puss never even played but the Croods did, goes crazy for Peabody, this will be another one-off for Katzenberg and company. As for the rest of the box office, all the movies, with the exception of Frozen, were hit pretty hard by the 300 Peabody 1-2 punch, proving that the doldrums of the winter movie season are finally over, as blockbuster season begins to awaken. Yes, summer can no longer hold them, with the first weekend of March now a favorite release date for offbeat maverick blockbusters. Interestingly, the biggest drop was for Son of God, 60%, showing that while church groups planned theater takeovers the Thursday night it debuted, the film has not been able to reach beyond that core demographic. Also, 12 Years a Slave finally got something of an Oscar bump, as the Best Picture winner expanded its theater count and popped back into the top 10. And overall, the Steve McQueen pick can still boast a worldwide haul of 150 million, in nice contrast to a mere 20 million budget. Finally, one of the biggest headlines of the weekend came from the specialty market, where the Grand Budapest Hotel shattered the all-time theater average for a live-action film. Debuting in just 4 theaters, 2 in LA and 2 in New York, Wes Anderson took back the record he'd previously held thanks to Moonrise Kingdom, but that P.T. Anderson had broken with the master. Does Fox Searchlight maybe have another Oscar contender on their hands already? As for this coming weekend, there's a good chance 300 Rise of an Empire could hold on to the #1 spot, or that Peabody could take it, since Need for Speed and Tyler Perry's The Single Moms Club aren't expected to have that much gas in the tank. And that's the weekend box office. I'm Grace Randolph, and we just did some movie math. As always, thanks for watching, and I hope we'll go beyond the trailer for these other top movies.